Hello and welcome to the We Are Makers podcast. We're Kate and Jack Lenny, a husband and wife team, sharing the stories of makers from around the world. We travel to the makers' workshops, studios and sheds to bring you honest conversations with the people behind the craft, right where the making happens. This podcast is an extension of our quarterly print magazine, our original project born in 2020 from a love of craft and the need to champion makers beyond the digital world. This podcast is a true labour of love, and if you enjoy what we do, there's a few ways in which you can support us. First, subscribe to our quarterly magazine. It's beautifully printed and delivered straight to your door every February, May, August and November, and it's what makes everything we do possible. You can also follow this podcast, leave a review, or if you fancy, buy us a coffee to help us going on those long travel days. Whether you're listening with a coffee in hand or busy making at your bench, let's dive into today's episode.
Some work and to help them with the business. So they called it Wyatt Dad instead of Wyatt and Sons.
Yeah, we thought that.
This is the son started it, which is really cool. So now...
I think that's the first and dad I've ever heard of.
Yes. A lot of people get confused by it. So we get called Wyatt and Sons all the time, but it's Wyatt and Dad. So that's the story there. And now, so it was Ricky and Tony were the two brothers. Tony had a son, Lance, who has been doing it and been in the shop since he was a kid. And he pulled onto the craft, so he's still in it with us. I met Lance, motorcycle riding, actually.
Okay.
So all the Wyatts ride motorcycles and all that. So I just was hanging around his shop for a little bit because it was right by where I was living. And I didn't even know shoe repair was a thing. People get their shoes fixed, and just hanging around the shop and meeting the family is what pulled me in. It was just their attitude about everything, not wanting to work for anybody else but themselves. The way they treated their customers was awesome to watch, and just how busy they were. Mm-hmm. But their ability to make sure that they're working to live and not living to work. So they were full of extracurricular activities all the time. We would go dirt biking and, boating and everything. So that's really what pulled me in. So I like to tell people that it was the community and the people that pulled me into the craft first before I ever found a true love for the craft. I had no interest in it.
That's been the thread of this trip.
Yes.
More and more makers we're seeing are, I wouldn't say they're bucking hustle culture because they're hustling when they're working. They're working hard.
Yes.
But they're very mindful of taking time.
Yes.
That's been the thread of this trip, I think.
Yeah, balance.
Mm-hmm. And that's really tricky, especially, as a small business owner, because you got to wear every hat and do all the things. And so it's really hard. It's really easy to get sucked in and have it completely take over. But part of the thing that drew me into the Wyatts was their ability to separate it and pull it in like that. So, so then I worked for them for quite a while, and we decided to partner up, open up multiple shops, multiple locations. So his son Lance went and opened up a shop, and I went and opened up a shop. That was when I really started to take ownership, and then they gave me ownership. And so I got to run and design and decorate my own store and hire my own employees, and I felt like I was really doing something with the trade. We were just a standard shoe repair shop at the time. I have a picture. It was just me and a little sewing machine, and just a couple of purses and a couple of bags where I'm just sewing straps on it. And I was in a mall starting there. So we grew and grew and grew because there's just not very many shoe repair shops in that area. I started making some YouTube videos for fun, and then I joined some Facebook groups with cobblers in it, and that's really when I started to learn how expansive the craft can be, and how creative and crafty you can get with it. I shared it with the Wyatts, which they got into it as well, and then we started just building a community. Amongst other cobblers. We've traveled, we put out some YouTube videos. We're traveling to other cobbler shops, trying to showcase shops. We're trying to educate people about shoe repair across the country. Don't just, it's not just us, there are others left. Because that's the hard part, is just knowing who to trust with your stuff,
Yeah, who to take your there are large investments for a good set of boots.
Yes.
Who to take them to. So coming from a motorcycle culture, they must have understood the high-end boots as much as just general shoes.
Yeah.
Were they pretty au fait with all that? Were they doing much of that work before you came on board, or?
Yeah.
Right.
We didn't take it to the level that we take it to now. A lot of it was volume, where, things you do to stay alive. Everything comes in the door in a shoe repair shop. People bring you their chairs, their
Really?
couches, their
Really?
bags, their anything that needs a stitch, you name it. We've seen some really interesting things come into the
Right.
shop, but so we didn't really have a niche per se. It's just an all-inclusive shoe repair shop. And we're still that way, very much so. But then with this, we kind of focused our social media to be very niche and specialized, to try to mitigate what comes in the mail. Because we didn't want to have stuff that's really bad or cheap and stuff, and then people will just be, I don't want to do it, and then they leave it with us and kind of thing.
Okay.
So we tried to really niche down with our online presence, and that has turned into what we have now, which is Pro Cobblers, and we do mostly just high-end stuff at this point. So I started just having everything come into my shop in Durham, and it exploded. We got a big following now on social media, and I think it's just because we're honest and with our work, and we try to just show every bit of it, that people are trusting us from all over the country now with their goods.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So where did the idea for Pro Cobbler come from?
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started the YouTube, and then when we made the Instagram, that was the title that I wanted. Wyatt Dad was taken, actually.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So it just wrote Pro Cobblers on there, and then we just started to call all of our mail-in stuff Pro Cobblers, and then it turned into, once the mail overcame the stuff that was coming into our door, we switched it. We decided that it was an investment for me, but to come down and do strictly the mail-in orders, and then we're calling it Pro Cobblers.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
How long did that take for the Pro Cobbler, for the mail-ins to overtake the walk-in stuff?
After we were shut down for COVID, pretty quickly,
Yeah.
because at that point we were only able to take in stuff through the mail, even locally, for a short period. So even to keep our doors open, keep our rent paid, we had to still keep working and taking in repairs. So we started to really push the mails and everything. We created a website to make it easier if you're across state to find our information and figure out what they want. After that, it was a build. We still had to build it, and it was a really big risk to close that store down. It was a really good location.
Right.
We had a lot of work. We just didn't have anybody. It was just all the focus on the mail order was taking me away from my focus on my customers, or vice versa. If I'm focusing on my customers, then I'm neglecting my mail-in work, which is all the high-end stuff, which is the stuff that I thought in my head was going to help me create this. This is what my ultimate goal was, is to transition to a by mail service only shoe repair shop, which is there's none. I know some cobblers that, do it out of a shed or a small place, like that, but they're still relying on the locals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a learning experience for us even.
Can you imagine?
What were the keystones in taking what is traditionally, you say cobbler and you think of the guy at the end of the road, like it's very traditionally a local business. What was the sort of keystone moves to taking that online? Was it the social media and building the website? Is that oversimplifying it?
No. The access. If you have access, and then content. the more content, the more exposed we are, and the more that people will trust you and vet you before they even talk to you.
Yes, very true.
And we try to coach other cobblers in that sense as well, is, you know, you don't have to start with YouTube and some of these big social media. You don't have to start making reels. You don't have to be a photo editor, a video editor, and all this other stuff. Just start with taking pictures of your work and put it on your Yelp or your Google.
Yep.
So when people look you up, they can get an understanding of your workmanship.
Good idea.
And start from there, so that customers on the outside looking in can vet you before they ever walk in your door. So that was a big thing for us, is just trying to create content. So I was taking pictures of every pair of shoes that I did and posting it and making sure that I was constantly exposed. And that's really built the trust for people to send their heirloom goods to us.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
It's super important, isn't it? And
Yes.
It is super easy. Like, it's never been easier to put content out there.
Yeah.
It's also never been easier to get lost in the storm of content.
Yes. Yes. And it's free advertising. You know, you don't have to pay for the ad in the magazine or the newspaper or the TV anymore. You can, I mean, nothing's free per se, but because it's a whole nother job to be a social media content creator.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot, and you know, it's hard to be a cobbler and a content creator sometimes. And so it's tricky. And I feel like in the shoe repair industry, it's like probably 90% older generation that's left that won't even, you know, blink their eyes at social media.
But you're letting the people into your workshop and get an understanding of what happens behind the scenes, which is so important.
Yes.
Being the younger generation, you know, it's like, this is that we need to keep this alive, sort of thing. So no, you're doing a really good job with your social.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a journey. It's a tough journey for sure. Yeah.
Talk to me about the strategy for that, because you quite often have what looks like pretty professional teams in to do your socials.
Yeah, so we have my friend. He's also a Wyatt. He is Tony's nephew, Ricky's son. Right. He actually went to film school in Hollywood for a stint.
Oh, really?
So he never wanted to do the shoe repair aspect of the family business. So we brought him in. We started making videos and commercials for the shop years back before he went to film school. And then he doesn't live too far, but he lives a few hours away. So he comes down, shoots our YouTube videos for us. But everything on social or on Facebook and Instagram is all just for my phone. I'll record a few things and then edit it before I go to sleep sometimes, and that's about it. And but yeah, he's got some fancy equipment because he's doing his own production company and everything too. So it works that he's in the family.
It's handy.
Yeah.
Have you noticed a bigger uptick from doing the professional stuff, or is the bigger uptick from just doing stuff on your phone? Because there's obviously a volume versus quality thing there, isn't there? And that's not to say that phone stuff can't be quality, or at least of a quality. Yeah. But the higher production stuff is super laborious, super time consuming.
Super time consuming, and that's the scariest thing about it, I feel like, especially if you're not used to it or not into it, is like, I have to invest all of this money into this equipment and everything, and you don't. It's nice to have. You don't. You can just start from scratch and just build from there. But we do get a lot of compliments on the quality of our videos because a lot of people will take that and transfer it to the quality of my work.
Okay.
So say, all right, they're putting a lot of work and detail into the videos. They must put a lot of work and detail into the work as well, which is true. We're trying to do everything top of the line, including the production. So
feels like that would be quite important.
Yeah.
Like there's so much that, I mean, we obviously our YouTube, it's pretty run and gun because of what we do. It's just the volume of makers we speak to. But if you're really trying to purvey quality in your work, doing, spending that extra time, that extra money, getting it real good. Yeah,
and it expands more than social media too. You know, if you have a shop, keeping it tidy, when you're posting pictures and people look in the background, and it's a messy shop. Like, a lot of people love messy shops for the fact that it's a busy shop and everything. But at the same time, like, if you're sending me, $2,000 bespoke made shoes and I'm throwing them in a pile with a bunch of other dirty work boots and stuff like that, so keeping things organized and tidy, goes beyond just your social media presence as well, but it's also your shop and how you just
Present
do things.
yourself,
Yeah,
yeah.
The
exactly.
way you do anything's the way you do everything, right?
Yes.
That's the big one that we certainly learned.
Yeah, sure.
So talk to me about becoming a craftsperson, because you never set out to be a craftsperson.
Oh, yeah.
Is there craftspeople in your family? Is there like
None.
Start from the
None.
start.
I was always a tinkerer. I was always fascinated by how things are put together and how things are made. I was always taking things apart and trying to fix them as a kid even. I did a small welding stint in Chicago where I was
Nice.
welding hot rods and kind of fabricating metal. I hated it. It was hot. It was terrible. And when I moved out here and discovered this, I was like, leather, metal.
Yeah.
Leather's a lot more comforting and warm, and and so it just kind of transitioned pretty well. I get to work with my hands, which was always my favorite thing.
Right.
And but like I was saying before, it's just the people. The people in the community is really what I love about it, because there's so few of us that we all support each other now,
Yeah.
which is nice.
So it's
What do you
more
think-
community over competition sort of thing.
Yeah.
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 What do you think you'd have done if you never found Wyatt and Dad?
I actually had this conversation not too long ago, and I could not come up with an answer. I truly don't know. I probably would have gotten into motorcycles, because at the time I was really into restoring vintage motorcycles. That was another thing that kind of transitioned from the hot rods. I was like, motorcycles are smaller, easier to contain and make and
You
build.
don't need to take loads of things off to get to the thing you want to fix. Yeah.
Yes. So I do have a collection of old motorcycles I've been wrenching on and everything, but
You'd like that.
so I'd probably try to transfer over to that if this never worked out. But I've truly fallen in love with this, and
That's cool. You can tell.
thanks.
And out with the community, what is the sort of hands-on stuff you think you've really fallen in love with?
Probably just the traditional aspect of everything, the old tools, the old machines, and it's a cool trade.
It is a cool trade.
It is.
It's a really cool trade, and it's something we were talking about this earlier. We don't spend enough time talking about it because we've only got so many pages in a quarter
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a magazine. But mending things is in many ways as important as making them. There's still a lot of really good old stuff out there that's just not mended,
Yeah.
and that definitely feeds back into the sort of waste culture we live in at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you feel that responsibility of mending things?
Absolutely.
Where else would people go, right?
Yeah, the shoe repair industry is directly affected by that consumerism part of it, because the cheaper the shoes that come in, we have to adjust. And a lot of shops went out because it's all glue work and identifying materials, and you become a chemist at the point, because you're trying to figure out what adheres to what, and so. A lot of these shoes with injection molded foam soles and stuff like that just don't hold up over time. So we have to shift constantly to kind of try to stay in business. So one of the things that, what we're trying to do is try to take it back and support these makers that are doing it the traditional way and making boots the traditional way that are mendable,
Cool.
which is cool.
That's really cool. How does someone go about selecting a boot that is mendable in your eyes? What would your wish list be for anyone buying a boot? Because there's a lot of boots now that look the ticket.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're not.
There's a lot of boots that look like they're going to be a replaceable hardware and boot, and they're just not.
Yeah, it's tough. You really have to start to know your brands and get kind of familiar with the different brands. I can tell you that you can look for leather as the start, because most companies, if they use leather, then they're going to promote it and they won't take as many shortcuts on the rest of the production if they're using a leather. But other than that, you just have to you have to know a bit, do a little bit of research, because that's our biggest issue. Is people will bring stuff in that they think was quality because it, appears that way, or they paid a lot of money for it, but it's just not. And it's really hard to to teach someone without the hands-on showing you in person, touching, feeling. So over the internet, it's a really difficult conversation to have.
Yes.
Or right now, me trying to just tell you right now, like what to look for, it's almost impossible. I don't know.
There's so many good imitations.
Yeah.
What do you look for? Because you're a good book guy.
I go onto Rose Anvil on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I check what Rose Anvil's posting on YouTube.
Yeah, so you're doing your research.
Yeah, right. Like I find people like yourselves or like Rose Anvil, and I work out what they're talking is good, and that's pretty much it.
That's right, you do your research.
And availability, that's a big one, especially in the UK. What's available?
Mm-hmm.
Like these Thorougoods were the best that was available at the time in the UK, and that's definitely getting better.
Yeah.
I picked up a set of 877s when we were here because they're just. The UK doesn't seem to, at least I've not found it, multiple widths. We don't seem to hold multiple widths on shelf.
Oh,
And
okay.
getting them's like an import deal.
Yeah.
So like I wear a double E, I wear a wide shoe, and these are not a double E.
Yep.
And subsequently they've become a double E because
Yep.
they've stretched out.
Yes.
But yeah, the 877s, I could never find them back home. Mail order, they wouldn't even list 2 different widths.
Yes.
So that was a whole different thing.
Yeah, I didn't really understand why people would spend so much on boots until I got my first pair of like well-made, well-fitting boots. And I was like, this is it. This I understand now. I've been wearing ill-fitting boots this entire time. And now, like, I don't even want to take them off at the end of the day. They
So
feel great.
Did you get a sore back the first day you wear them? Your back's
Yes.
like all killing you because you realise how much of a stoop or how flat-footed you've been for ages.
Yes.
I remember that one. Couldn't walk the following day. It's crazy, right?
Yes. So it's hard sometimes to explain that to people, like the buy once, cry once scenario where, invest in that nice pair of shoes, you're going to appreciate it. It's going to be worth it for that investment.
What are the things that people don't see about being pro cobbler or being a professional cobbler? Pro cobbler's a great name, by the way. A professional cobbler. That you think maybe undervalues the craft, because it is a craft.
It is, yeah. We are definitely looked down on in a lot of ways. We're shoe shiners,
Right.
At the lowest. I don't want to say the lowest because shoe shining is a art in itself. But we're mending things that people are like walking on dirty grounds. It's a dirty job. It's a very dirty job. People are sending in their stuff that's been through mud or.
Do they clean them before they send them?
Most of the time. There's fees if you don't. So.
Yeah, okay.
But, I've gotten poison ivy all the way up my arm from a pair of boots that I, put my arm in to clean. Because it was a work boot and it had poison ivy oil all over it. It's just...
But you didn't expect that?
Didn't expect it at all. It was terrible. We have people that, don't wear socks in a lot of their shoes. And, they love the shoes.
Yeah.
We have a kind of a running joke where, people will put their shoes on the counter, they're completely busted, just disgusting, like just worn down. And they're like, these are my absolute favorite shoes. And it's like, well, I hope, you treat your favorite whatever better than you treated your shoes.
I hear that. I hear that.
So it's a dirty job. And there's not a lot of safety stuff taught in it, and you're running with machines and trimmers and dust and all types of chemicals with the glues and everything. So there's not a lot of education there, even passed down generation to generation about how to stay safe and do this as safe as possible. So it's a dirty, stinky job.
Yeah.
But you make it look cool.
Yeah, you do make it look very, very, very appealing. How many hours what is the work schedule like now? You say you got into this because the Wyatt and Dad had a really good work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
You're obviously in a stage of like, it's all go.
Yeah.
Are you still achieving that work-life balance?
Absolutely. Even more so now that I'm out of the 9 to 5 shop hours.
Right.
That was the thing that pushed me over the edge to make this transition is the looser schedule.
Right.
That has been a blessing to my life. The Wyatts never worked the weekends. And not a lot of cobbler shops did that because Saturdays are the busiest days for people to run their errands. But the Wyatts always said that weekends are for family. And so they just never worked the weekends, which I loved immediately. Yeah. And yeah, we still do that. We just never open on the weekends.
That's cool.
That's a big one for me.
Nice. Do you operate everything from this cabin on your land now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything gets delivered here, everything your end. And there's Wyatt and Dad still has stores for the normal everyday shoe stuff, right?
So yeah, we still serve our communities, and we may open up more if we can get the help. So we're still trying to do the traditional shoe repair shops, but with this, it's just me for now. Me and Tony. Tony helps me. So no, I don't get the shoes shipped here because it's my home as well.
Well, that's kind of
so I didn't want people to just find my address on the website and then show up.
Yeah, makes sense.
So we do have them shipped to our brick and mortar location, and then
Right.
he drives them out here for me. So
Nice.
I get no interactions with the public.
Are you happy about that?
I love it. I do miss it. I do miss a lot of my good customers that I would have in the conversations and everything. But I do get to go. It's not too far. It's about 20 minutes from here, so I can always go down to that shop and get that part if I'm missing it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not so bad,
That's
especially if
balanced
you're managing your own schedule, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Talk to me about boot making.
Okay.
It's obviously something you've played with, as we've seen earlier.
Yeah, so that kind of started with my friend Kellen, Sunhouse Goods, the leather crafter. He opened up his shop for a little while in the back of my shop in Durham. So I just let him have some space in the back of my shop. I learned a lot from him on the leather crafting standpoint, and that's really what he had a goal to start making boots, and so we kind of dove into it together, made a couple of pair. And my first pair turned out so good. I was like, I can do this. Like, it's nuts. I was like so happy with my product and myself. I'm like, this is a reality. It's gonna happen. My second pair, I don't know if it was like 2 left feet or like. I was like, okay, this is trickier.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to change the pattern a little bit, and like it was terrible. I was like, okay, so there's a lot more learning that I have to do to transition into boot making. So I've been doing a lot of just research on my own. I've gone to boot making events and hung out with other boot makers, which has really been fun. It was funny because I would introduce myself, they'd recognize me from like social media and stuff like that. And so I would say, I'm Tobias, I'm just a cobbler, because I'm amongst a bunch of boot makers. I'm just a cobbler. And they would always correct me. They're like, you're not just a cobbler, trying to build me up and everything. But
that's nice.
Yeah. So just talking with them and just trying to figure out like if it's a good transition for me or not. And I'm still trying to figure that out.
So you're not sold yet if it is a good transition yet?
Not sold yet.
Yeah, I guess it's just a lot of learning, right?
Yeah, so a little bit more to learn, and then just trying to figure out how to market it and, make it worthwhile to spend the time on it, which is price point is the tricky part.
Always is.
Yes.
Yeah. You mentioned a number of times about like how to market it or the media that you're putting out to market things. How important do you think it is for a craftsperson to really double down on the marketing like you guys are?
I feel like it depends, right? If you have a local community it depends on the craft, of course. If you have a local community that can support your craft fully, there's no need to expand unless you can take on that extra volume.
Yep.
But if you're out in a shed in the woods, you can still make it happen. And that's when the content and the exposure really matters. So yeah, I really think it just really depends on the craft and how isolated you are in a craft.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating that you could be anywhere doing anything.
Yeah.
We don't spend a lot of time in towns and cities at all. It's just not really our thing. And the more people that we go to visit out in these places just affirms that you can be anywhere doing anything.
I think that's a big part of the positive of social media like that is, that you can reach out to your audience is so much bigger.
Yeah.
That's important for sure. yeah, you can take one, and the same thing with shoe repair. Like what we did, we took one small aspect of shoe repair, niche down, and we're able to reach the customers across the world. We get people from overseas that send us their stuff as well.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, and we can take that one small part of this craft, and you can go any direction with it. We have a guy that works for us who's really good at medical buildups for leg length discrepancies. He adds material to the bottom of one shoe, and he can do sneakers. He can do all types of shoes for for this, and you can. There's such a need for that across the world that you can literally niche down to just that. And if you advertise and market correctly, you can get that from all over the place, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to do all these, little glue jobs and stitch jobs and stuff that really keep your shop alive. So that's one thing I do love about this craft, is that you can take it any direction you want to, which is really cool.
I've only ever seen the medical side of things being done with insoles in the inside. So you're saying you can do an actual build up on the outside of a shoe?
Absolutely.
Because the inside feels like, it's a fix, but it's not a great fix because there's still only X
limited volume
inside
that you can elevate the foot in. So we have a customer in our Wisdom shop that I think it's 2 or 3 inches. And I think we even have a bigger one than that too. So we add material to the bottom of the shoe so that they can walk evenly.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
I've never seen that.
Ricky Wyatt, he's a podorthist, so he makes orthotics and helps people with their straighten out their feet and everything. So it kind of just all encompasses in the shoe repair. So.
Yeah, because your shoes are so important. It's what you wear every single day.
Yes.
Yeah.
My mum always says good pair of shoes and a good mattress, because if you're not in one, you're in the other. Right?
That's right. I love that.
Yep. Wise mother.
That's good.
Tell me about you becoming part of Wyatt and Dad.
Yeah. Okay.
How did that all come around?
So I met them. I may have mentioned this earlier, but I met them riding motorcycles. There was Lance, the son, who we really became best friends. I was the best man in his wedding.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, we became really close friends, and we decided at one point that we wanted to expand. And
you were working for them at this point?
Yeah. It started part-time. I was just fixing some shoes after hours. My favorite stories is Tony Wyatt, his training method is he would show me, we would replace the little pin heels on women's high heels, the little dowel heel things, or whatever. We do volumes of those. And that was one of the first things that he trained me on. But he would show me on the machine how to do it. And then he would say, work on that for a while. And he'd go back into his office, and he would go nap. So
you do the work.
Yeah. So not only when I was like, would I have to show him my work, but I would have to wake him up from a nap. So I was like super nervous about this guy, and so it just started kind of a part-time thing because I had another job at the time, and then that job fell through, and I came to him and said, hey, like, do you have a full-time position for me? I really enjoy this, and I enjoy working with you guys. So, and that's it. Just went from there.
Cool.
That's cool. The company structure I've noticed of, not every, but a number of craftspeople in the US, they treat it more like a business. I don't mean treat it more like a business as if other people don't, but treat it more with company structure, partners, etc., etc. Is that the case here?
It is. So they made me a partner,
Right.
2016. They made me a partner. It definitely gave me ownership more so of my work. It kept me loyal. It's been such a blessing. They've been doing this for so long that they keep me afloat. They help me with the business side of things. I'm still learning to wear all the hats. So right now I don't have to. And so having that support with the partnership has been huge. Not a lot of cobblers have that. So I get asked all the time why I don't go on my own, because I would probably make more money potentially, but I'd have to do so much more.
Yeah. You could also lose more.
Yeah, exactly. And so right now, I have the support of even the retired cobblers, whatever.
Yeah.
They'll come down here and help me tune my machines sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool.
So it's definitely a blessing to have that partnership and that support. It's great.
Do you ever think about the legacy of that? So you're the first non-Wyatt to
Correct.
be part of the business.
Yes.
Do you ever think about what the legacy of Wyatt and Dad is? Because it feels like sat in here, you're simply just the decor alone. You're building something, you're clearly building a long-term career for yourself.
Yeah.
I think about it with bootmaking, I think about it with a lot of crafts, saddle making, timber framing. Do you ever think about what the legacy of Wyatt and Dad is under you? Because presumably it's going to be under you at some point.
Yes. At some point, we'll have to come to that road and kind of figure out what we're going to do there. His son Lance still runs and owns and operates, so he's going to be, in it. He's my age, so he'll be in it as well for a long time. So there'll still be a Wyatt for a long time coming, which is nice. I think as far as isolating myself out of it is just going to be if I transition to like the making part, the boot making part and everything, that would be solely under me. The Wyatts are family to me now. I'm from Chicago. When I moved out here and I met them, they took me under. I go to their Thanksgivings, their Christmases. I'm a Wyatt, even if my last name is not a Wyatt.
Yeah.
So I want to try to keep their legacy going as long as I can. So we do call our Instagram Pro Cobblers, but it's Wyatt and Dad Cobbler Company is the name of the company, and we want to keep that going. People really like that name.
That's cool.
It's a very heritage feel to it.
Yeah.
How did you end up down here? Because the difference from Chicago to here would be like us moving to Italy somewhere.
It's a distance. Yeah, a girl.
Yeah.
Right.
I moved down here with a girl after school, and then I fell in love with this state. It's gorgeous here, there's mountains and sea and everything in between,
nice.
And
We drove Chattanooga to John C. Campbell and then up to here.
That's a drive.
And it's just...
Yes.
Is it the Okie River?
Yeah.
We drove like that side and then, oh man, and then even just up here through the mountains, it's crazy,
Gorgeous.
right?
Gorgeous.
It is. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?
If I couldn't fail. God, it's loaded.
If you were to just get started on something today, right now, and you knew that it wouldn't go wrong,
I would actually, and it's something that I've been trying to push towards or move gradually towards, is I would love to open up another shop, open to the public, but more of a, like a studio. So not necessarily shop hours, but studio hours that are flexible that I can make. But it would be a place that people can come and visit and touch the raw materials. But I would want it to be more of a destination city. And Asheville is on my list right now because it's in the mountains of North Carolina. It's gorgeous, and people already go there to visit North Carolina. So I think I would like to do something like that, and maybe kind of start my own shop from there, maybe with the boot making more so than the boot repair.
Yeah, getting people's hands on material is really important. Just and even like seeing you do some stitching and stuff earlier.
Or even being able to visit my shop and see all my decorations and
that's
get
exactly
the feel for
it.
it.
Just get an understanding, a deeper understanding. We're very lucky because we get an understanding of all these people just hanging out with them for the day. You just wish everyone had that same understanding.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
Be a lot deeper into the craft and...
I think so.
Yeah.
Kate?
Yeah, what advice would you give your younger self?
I don't know. Have more confidence in myself. I'm rather introverted. You probably haven't noticed or not yet, but I'm rather introverted. So I've always felt it took me a long time to really expose myself, especially when it came to social media. I would take pictures of some of my work, and if one little stitch was crooked or one little thing was off, like, not posting it. Not going to do it because people are going to eat me alive, whatever. But it was so the opposite, you know. I would get so much support or so much advice, and I feel like I probably could have jump started it quicker if I had just had that confidence to expose myself from the beginning. Because people will, you know, they accept that you're learning, or they accept your flaws, and, you know, and they like to watch you grow and build and everything. And so,
just post it.
Yeah, just post it. Yeah, just post it. And I still struggle with that.
Yeah, I think many of us are the same, though, aren't we?
But it's not a social media problem.
No.
Like, it's not, I mean, we say just post it because that's a good way to actualise it, but it's not about the just posting it. It's the sort of be proud of it, right?
You still have to have some strategy there. One of the things that I've helped with other people is trying to separate your social media, like your business and your personal stuff. That helped us a lot, you know. So we have a business page, it's just boot content. And, you know, there's not going to be pictures of babies or my dog, or, you know, and stuff like that on there.
Sure, your dog's a pretty good looking dog.
Yeah, he is a good looking dog, and I do have some stuff with him in it. But I feel like there is, you know, there is strategy there to more than just posting it, because you still want to create an image, you still want to create a brand. But yeah, I would still tell my younger self, though, to be a little bit more confident or be open to that criticism even.
That's good.
That's
good
the scary
advice.
part.
It's good advice.
Especially as a young cobbler, working with a bunch of old guys who are very traditional and have been doing this forever. It was very nerve-wracking just to come in and be like, this is me. This is what I can do.
But then they'll teach you so much.
So much. There's so much knowledge there.
It's good that you're taking that on.
I don't know a lot of cobblers at all. I don't know any cobblers other than you. But I can't think of any young cobblers. How old are you now?
37.
I can't think of anyone that young.
Yeah, there's not very many. There's a few, and I'm glad to be part of the social media community because of that. There's a few of us, which is really good to see. A lot of it is generational. Their parents or their grandparents or however it's been passed down. There's not very many that have just like walked in because there's no schooling for it. There's no way to learn the trade without pulling in an apprenticeship or finding a shop that will sell to you. And a lot of times it's a guy that's trying to retire, is trying to sell a shop, and you get a few months to learn and then you take over. So that's why a lot of shops, you know, don't know all the things, and, you know, they squeak by with what they know. Which can be really a tough thing to do.
And would you encourage young people to learn it?
That's part of what we're trying to do with our social media, and I'm probably going to start doing that a little bit more, is kind of showing like my day-to-day and, you know, what I can do. You know, it's a 37-year-old who works for himself and, you know, no 9 to 5, no hours, no, you know, and it's nice. It's really nice. But yeah, other than that, you know, really just kind of being humble and going and saying, hey, I want to learn this, and doing whatever it takes, is like working for free potentially for a while to learn it.
Or working for no financial gain.
Yes.
You're not necessarily working for free if you're accruing skill.
Yes.
I think that's one of the big things that a lot of people have got wrong. I say this very carefully because a lot of the people we speak to are the artists, makers, craftspeople who should not work for free, i.e. do not trade something with someone that, if they were to dig deep, could afford it. Do not trade your time for exposure or for not. Yes. You need to get something out of it. You don't necessarily need to get financial recuperation out of it, but you need to be like, whether it's a skill swap or like getting something out of it.
Absolutely.
Is a big one.
And that makes sense.
I think I hesitate to say it because I don't want to tar everyone with the same brush, but I definitely think there's a lot of people that feel they should be paid for learning. And there is a lot of learning that, like, you think about all these small shops, how do they even afford to bring on an apprentice?
Yeah.
They need to know that you're worth it.
Yes.
And what about if they put you through a 3-4 year apprenticeship? They really struggle to put you through a 3-4 year apprenticeship to a point where you're going to lose their money. Week on week, you're going to lose their money for years. So they are investing in you, and then you decide to go and do your own thing. That must be a huge risk for a shop as well.
It is.
Which is why nobody wants to teach people, probably.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, I was at a repair convention a couple of years ago, and one of the big questions, it was a huge room full of cobblers. And big question was, who's willing to teach? Show of hands, and maybe 6 hands. Go
Really?
Maybe.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people are afraid that they're going to teach someone and they're going to open up a shop down the road and take all their business away from them.
Which goes
It's
back
just-
to that finding someone at the right time in their career that will teach you, right?
Yes.
That's got nothing to lose.
Yeah. So it's tough to confidently gain that loyalty by the people that you're teaching and training. Part of the way the Wyatts did it is by giving me that ownership,
Yep.
that partnership. And yeah, it's a scary thing. That's part of the reason why the industry is dying.
Right. So with that in mind, have you thought about how you teach people?
Absolutely. So we've already started making videos, how-to videos.
Nice.
We've coordinating with the SSIA, which is Shoe Service Institute of America. It's our industry, making videos.
Nice.
They liked our YouTube, and so they've reached out to us and other cobblers to try to create some sort of curriculum.
Okay, cool.
There's a few places that are trying to open up schools and like art colleges and stuff like that to try to craft things, but there's no regulation for it. So anybody can open up a repair shop, and you have no idea what they're capable of.
Right.
So I try to tell all of our customers or other people even, like, vet your cobbler, just like you would like a tattoo artist. You want to look at their work
Hardcore
before you
tattoo
get it done.
artists, yeah.
So it's a weird industry to be in and to see. And a lot of people, they'll see or they'll hear that there's not a lot of us left, and they'll say, oh, no competition. But it goes beyond that, because now my suppliers are going out of business because they don't have anybody buying their stuff. And so it's going to be harder for me to get materials and machine parts. It's already impossible to find some of these. We have to fabricate them ourselves. It's nuts. So there's a lot of downside to it. So we're trying to grow the industry as a whole. Because as they say, like, when the tide rises, all ships float, or something like that. So.
Jack uses that all the time.
Yes.
High tides rise all ships.
Yeah. And that's another thing that I really like about my partnership with the Wyatts is they have that mindset as well. We're constantly helping other cobblers figure things out. We're sharing all the insides of what's working for us. There's no trade secrets. There's no gatekeeping. And I love that.
The machinery side of it's a whole other side to it, isn't it?
A whole other side to it.
I know a lot of people in the leather work in bootmakers, saddle makers,
Weavers even.
weavers.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I can
Just
see that.
keeping machinery alive. I think of Sam Goetz and all her Dobby looms, 1903, and she's as much a mechanic as she's a weaver.
Yeah.
right?
She's trying to solve it, how to fix this machine, because
Yes.
well, she's got no one else to
Yes.
fix it.
It's the same thing with these. It's a complicated machine, and it's the not to use the word, but it's the soul of what I do here. If that stops working.
It was a really great pun. We never gave enough credit to that. The soul of what you do.
Yeah.
That was real good. That's a YouTube thumbnail there, isn't
That's
it?
right. So if that stops working, I'm out. I don't know what I would do. I'd either have to figure it out, or I'm stuck hand sewing everything, and it's nuts. So
There's a lot of hours in that if you're stuck hand sewing, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah, and you have to reflect it with the price, and it's just not going to make any sense to anybody.
How do you go about pricing it? Because boot prices are coming down and down and down and down. Yeah, I think these Thurgoods are what, $200? The red ones I just bought were $300. How
Yeah.
do you? It's such a laborious task You're not just talking about fitting the new sole, you're talking about stripping and cleaning the old one too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we try to keep it as simple as possible. We have our overhead, our cost of goods, our rent, or whatever it may be. So all of that's factored into our pricing. Then after that, it's just, we try to, we coordinate with a lot of other cobblers. That's something our supplier does, is they'll put out surveys to see what everyone else in the area is charging.
Oh, cool.
Well,
so you
that's
can
really
kind
cool.
of stay coordinated with that and see where you are to make sure you're not undercharging according to the other shops, stuff like that. But other than that, it's just kind of, try to stay realistic. We itemize everything when we give people quotes.
Nice.
We say, we're charging for this, we're charging for this, we're charging for this.
Gives them an understanding of what they're actually paying for.
Exactly.
It's not, oh, that's really expensive.
Yes. And then you can almost even pick and choose, like, this isn't actually that important to me. If it's going to cost me $100, I don't want to do it. Like replacing that welt, for example. A lot of people opt out of it once they find out that it's going to cost a lot because I have to hand sew it and it takes me twice as long to do the job. So little things like that. So we try to communicate a lot of that in our videos as well. Give people honest, as open possible answers with that. So, but you're right. We do try to stay within the realms of under the cost of the shoes new, because otherwise, what's the point besides just the
few fanatics.
Sentimental values of things. Yeah.
Cool.
The supplier thing's interesting. One thing we've railed on hard for a while is makers underpricing makers. Specifically those that don't rely on it as their main income. It could be someone who's retired or has a different income stream.
Yeah.
How they're oftentimes at a craft fair selling something at a loss or for the price of goods. So that's quite an interesting. I wonder if we could push more suppliers of stuff to do that. Because obviously craft isn't unionised. There's nobody saying this is the minimum you should be charging it for.
Which does make it hard for people to charge what they should be charging.
Yeah.
A sort of baseline.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because it's a tough one. Nobody knows how to charge, Yeah, it's difficult.
Ace. Dude, thanks so much. Thanks for showing us around your spot.
No,
I've never been in a cobbler shop.
No, not one like this
Never
anyway.
been in a cobbler shop. You've done a real good job of I feel it suits you.
Thank you. Thank you. I love it. I spent
nice
all my
spot.
time here.
Yeah. Yeah, so it should suit you, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. And thanks for showing us some bits and bobs.
Absolutely.
Well,
You'll have to get those Red Wings over to me.
they're in the back of the car.
Leave them here. I'll ship them to you.
Yeah.
Might do
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, no
Ace,
problem.
thanks so much, dude. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If it made you smile today or feel inspired, hit follow, leave us a review, or share it with a fellow maker. It really means the world. If you'd like to support what we do even more, you can subscribe to our quarterly print magazine, where you'll find even more maker stories in every edition. We'd also like to share that we're working on the We Are Makers grant. Once we reach 2,500 magazine subscribers, we'll be giving 11% of all our subscriptions directly to makers to help fund tools, travel, photo shoots, or anything that moves their craft forward. Find the link to all of this in our show notes. We'll see you soon, wherever the next story takes us.